What is going on, everyone? This is Andrew O'Connell with Pristine Capital coming at you with yet another market recap video. It is December 4th, 2020. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this content, and I will continue to make it for you. So today we're going to be talking about the price action, the indices, volatility. We're going to go under the hood and check out the sectors and style factors, some trades. Then we will wrap up with options order flow. But before we jump in, quick risk disclaimer, nothing in this video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Please follow your own trading plan. And last but not least, do not YOLO your entire account into one of my trades. So with that being said, let's get started. Let's jump into the S&P 500. So let's see, we have the S&P 500, pretty bullish day overall. We closed above the 5-day exponential moving average. We closed above the monthly value area, and we're above all the key moving averages. So this is looking very bullish. We're looking very good into year end. There is a lot of complacency in the market, but the trend is up, so you have to respect it. We ended up with the S&P 500 up 0.86%. We had the Qs up 0.41%. We had the small caps up 2.33%. Again, our big winner, the small caps. And we have the Dow Jones up 0.84%. Very interesting week. This was actually my first full week, as the director of research for Leduc Trading. So I've been working with a lot of their clients and really just helping them navigate the markets, sharing trade ideas with them, in real time on a full-time basis. I've been doing some webinars as well. It's been pretty fun. So let's take a look. So S&P 500 looking undeniably bullish. Let's take a look at the Qs. The Qs also putting in a very nice candle. This was an awesome Friday. So let's see, we're clearly above all key moving averages, and really the next target in sight, if we continue on this pace, is the R1 pivot at around 312 for the Qs. So very nice finish. The Qs actually finished, almost on their highs, so it looks very good. And then let's take a look at IWM. IWM just popped out of consolidation today. Yep, so we have, pretty glorious close in IWM, the small caps as well. We're in the monthly value area for a few days, and we had a very strong finish today, up above that monthly value area high. So everything is looking, pretty bullish in terms of these indices. Nothing to really complain about here. Same thing with the Dow Jones, looks very similar to IWM, the small caps. So that being said, we can see that this, this rotation trade is still on, that vaccine trade. And it makes sense because for so many months, the small caps were very underloved, and it was really big tech that was the only thing moving the market up. So now we're getting, much more participation. So let's take a look. We'll check out these sectors. So wow, leading the pack, we have the ARC Genomics Fund up 4.1% today. Then we have energy in the number 2 slot up 5.45%. And we have the cannabis ETF YOLO up 2.33%. So those are our leaders, all having, fantastic days. I see the semiconductors also got pretty hot, up 2.73%. There was actually a report that came out earlier today saying that semiconductor sales in October were the best they have been, since the March, pandemic situation. So looking very good for that sector. We will actually take a look in some of the individual names, pretty shortly here. In terms of our laggards, we have the GDX, gold miners just cannot catch a break, down 0.56%. And, general rule is, when you're going into an environment of inflation and growth accelerating, not the best environment for gold. So you can see those gold miners suffering. KWEB up 0.24%, which has those Chinese internet names, and utilities down 1%. And then in terms of the style factors, again, this high beta style factor ETF is crushing it, up 3.33%. Cyclicals up 2.79%, and the laggards were momentum and international momentum. So you can see, rotation on the tape. And you can really see, it's all the cyclicals, the value plays that are really making the biggest moves. So we'll take a look at, some trades I put on today. We can see Plug was one, and this one, cited in the Leduc trading room today. Plug just looks very interesting to me. So let's take a look. This one I can see here, it has been very strong and had, a pretty monumental run here, trading above the 5-day exponential moving average, really being a market leader. And then you can see we had a bit of a pullback where we had, nasty red candles. We pulled into the monthly value area and we actually traded below the monthly point of control. So that can be a shakeout where, for a lot of traders, their bias turns bearish, under the monthly point of control where most of the transactions have taken place. But dip buyers came in on this day and bid the stock back up. A little bit of hesitation here. And today I noticed, hey, this thing's going to close above the 5-day exponential moving average. Let's take this one long because the market is so bullish right now. So I ended up putting on a butterfly trade and shared that with Leduc trading clients. My butterfly is targeting this 27 strike right here. So we'll see how that one goes. And then we have, let's take a look. Another trade I actually closed out today was I had some Apple calls. I posted those on Twitter. That was before I joined Leduc Trading. And Apple, I was just starting to see some dynamics like yields I saw were rising. The dollar looked like it was putting in sort of like a bottoming candle. And really things have just been going so well. We're like, when your portfolios are doing well, pretty much every single day, just because the market is rallying, everything is working. And then you start to see like, okay, yields are rising. The dollar looks like it could be bottoming and whatnot. To me, I just figured, hey, let me take, a trade or two off. Let me take off one that's not really working so well. So this one I got into these Apple calls. On this candle right here, I bought the 120 strike. And I believe I sold them, bought them for like $5.25, sold them for like $6.75. Nothing looks technically broken in Apple. But you can see here, nice little consolidation. So this is not a bad setup at all. Just compared to some other things that were really moving very nicely. The cyclicals, the value plays. This falls within the QQQ. I figured if I'm going to trim something, let me trim this one that is not running as much. So trimmed up Apple. Let's take a look at some other stocks that I am watching. AMAT, and this is one, it's been a long-term one of my favorites. And you can see, we talked earlier about how the semiconductors, had a great day. Let's take a look. SOX, the semiconductors ETF, absolutely crushed it. So you can see up. This one was up 2.73%. If you look at AMAT, this thing is just a runaway freight train. Applied Materials. So, it looks very similar to the semiconductor chart. I would love to catch this one if there is a pullback to the 5-day exponential moving average or a pullback to the monthly value area high. AMD is another one I have on. Let's see AMD. AMD actually put in a very interesting candle. You can see, if you look at this, I just thought was very interesting price action. So I'm long some commons in AMD, and I also have some calls as well. So you can see, look at what happened at 9:30. At 9:30, there was just a huge shakeout candle. Or look at all that volume right there. Huge bomb on the tape, right at the open. Then you can see throughout the entire rest of the day, pretty strong action. So that was definitely a bit of a shakeout, for anyone that was stopped out on the open. And I love to see shakeout candles. He ended up closing up pretty strong, up 1.87%. That is another one I will continue to watch. and I have this target marked off. That is likely where I might take off some of my calls or reduce my position in the common stock. But we'll have to see, we'll have to see how it goes. And another one I'm looking at, MOS. This one just looks beautiful. I'm not long MOS. If you take a look, this one had a very nice pullback right here, and we closed, firmly above the 5-day exponential moving average, and the next target would be the prior high at around, $23.18. Yeah, so basically we're in a market where almost everything is moving, and there's a lot of good setups, a lot of good breakouts. But now most things are looking a little bit extended. And I'm sort of just letting what I have on ride at this point. And then just being careful, taking some profits where I can. I actually put on a hedge today. I did a calendar spread in SPY that I shared with Leduc Trading clients. And I believe it's a pretty elegant structure where, I bought the February 350 puts. And then I sold the December 18th puts against them. So basically what this trade does is if we continue to melt up, up until options expiration, that December put is going to decay much faster than my February put. So, even if we get like a bit of chop, a little bit of sideways movement, hopefully we'll collect some theta decay on that one. And, worst comes to worst, we have some sort of pullback in the markets, that will certainly help. So that about does it for the watch list, the trades. Let's take a look at the options order flow today. So let's pull it up. Let's take a look here. We're going to filter for orders above 1 million because these big orders are really what moves the market. And you can see, actually, this is interesting. We have a lot of order flow today. Look at all these big orders. So we have, let's see if this is going to cooperate. We have small cap players playing for continuation. Oh my gosh, look at this. They bought what? They bought December 4th. They bought dailies with the 183 strike. I guess it worked out for them because IWM finished very strong. TNA, what is that? I don't even know what TNA is. Let's see. I always like looking, especially if it's ticker that I'm not really familiar with. Oh my gosh, these savages. They bought the Direxion triple leverage small caps ETF. So this, honestly, this is getting heated in these small caps. So think about it. You're buying an options contract which has leverage, and you're buying the options contract on a triple leveraged ETF. That is insanity. But, for today, it looks like a pretty good trade. So we'll have to see. But that definitely is telling me that, that's a pretty speculative move. Although it was the correct move today, that definitely, I have yet to see one of those. So that's kind of interesting. Tells me a little bit about sentiment. Now we have PayPal calls coming on the tape. Love to see that. I do have a position in some PayPal calls that is timestamped on Twitter. T-Doc. This was another one I entered as a swing today. I completely forgot about this one. And I saw these calls on the tape. T-Doc looked pretty interesting. Let's take a look. Yeah, and T-Doc, this is one of those names where long-term it is revolutionizing healthcare. And you can see a pretty decent finish for Teladoc. Let's pull it up over here as well. This is one where, great company long-term, breaking out of consolidation. You can see trading above the monthly value area high. And I saw that we had a target at 220. So I figured I ended up purchasing the January 15th. I believe I purchased the 200 strike calls there. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens with T-Doc as well. We do have the 50-day moving average right here. So we'll have to see how, price interacts at that level. Let's see if we have any more interesting options flow on the tape. I love looking at this options flow. Let's see. We have Wells Fargo, ew. Let's see. TDOC, EWZ. Micron has been so bullish. And then we, of course, have our usual Tesla players. So that about does it. If you would like to purchase if you would like a free 7-day trial of Cheddarflow, I am going to be posting my affiliate link in the description to this video. Feel free to give it a shot if you like. Feel free to reach out to me on Twitter or whatever if you have any questions about using the platform. That being said, no pressure either way, because I do like sharing this information with you at night for free. That being said, have a great night, everyone, and have a great weekend.